Hey everybody, it's ASIC Eric in the garage today. No Pops today. Pops has got to get a procedure done, so he's going to be out of commission for a little while. Don't know exactly how long yet, so we'll see him soon, hopefully. So bear with me. I know your favorite personality is not going to be here in the garage, so you have to suck it up with me for a little while. But it's the summer doldrums anyway, and nobody watches these videos during the summer, it seems. So I guess it's not a big deal. But let me show you what we're up to today. All right, so as we talked about in the last video, I'm starting to think about putting the dash together. And as we were saying in that last video, these pieces really don't fit together very well. Bear with me here, I don't have my assistant. Trying to get all these things to line up is proving to be a challenge. One issue that we have is these guys here. So this one I don't think is supposed to be molded down into the plastic like that. So I can't get that right there. You can see that's not going to line up no matter what you do. And even this one over here doesn't really line up very well. So I bought myself an oscillating saw. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to go in and try and cut this guy loose down here from the bottom. And then I use the heat gun to bend it up. I have no idea if that's going to work or not, but we're going to give it a try. Then I also have to figure out all these other ones, like do I need to bend that one up, or do I just need to shave the bottom off of these things to get them to fit? I'm not quite sure. So I've got to figure out how to get this thing kind of where it wants to be, and mark it or something. I don't know, it's really hard to do by myself, but I'm going to see if I can figure that out first. But I know for a fact this is not going to work, so I'm probably going to have to do something about this. All right, I'll show you what I've been up to here. Putting the dash bezel pieces together here. This screw here already is stripped. It doesn't work, so that's not right. I'm guesstimating what goes where here because all this stuff is brand new. I have the kit from AMK with a whole bunch of stuff in here, so I'm trying to figure out what goes where. I think this is all correct. So first problem we see here, if you can see this, those guys, huge gap there, huge gap there. I don't think there's anything that's supposed to go in between here. This is as far forward as it'll go. Let's get a little bit of wiggle room on that, so that's not right. So that guy needs some kind of spacer or something in there. So I wanted to put that together so that I could take the vent and see if I could figure out anything here. So now I know where all this stuff is supposed to go. So I'll start to play with this now and see if I can figure out the best place for it. It's really tricky because if you put this all the way down, it's too low, and this one's too high, and it's just really tricky, and especially you can't, you're holding this on the back side, you can't see what it looks like on the other side. It's really tricky, so I'm just going to keep futzing around with it here till I figure out where it goes. All right, so my best guess on this one is that's got to come up about 5 millimeters from where it is. I don't know if that's possible or not, but we're going to try this one. 5 millimeters from there is going to be a struggle, but we're going to try. So we'll start with this one and just get the heat gun and see if we can get it to move at all. And then we'll move on to this one. If we can't get this one to move with the heat gun, then we're kind of screwed. So we'll start with that. Okay, got that clamped in place. Bump in the tripod. Got a big old screwdriver here. Heat gun. Let's go for it. like it's getting flexible. Kind of getting out of round, but that cool. See if that'll hold its shape there. Not yet. So it is pretty flexible. That's nice. So I'll cut you off here. Right, well, you can see that. There's some light there, but we got that screw in. Come around the other side, see how that looks. It's okay, it's kind of, I'd like to get it a little further over here if I can. Yeah, about like that. That's okay where it is, it's not terrible. I just got that little gap right there. So now I got to work on that other one. So got this guy. This is really nice. I was worried that it would be just crazy fast, but it's variable speed all the way, which is great. So I got this tiny little blade there. It's not the narrowest of blades, but hopefully it'll work. So let's see, hopefully this thing is cooled off enough where it's not going to move now. Get that out of there. That screw just went flying, now I gotta find it. But anyway, the idea here, if I can pull this off, move the clamp to the other side. I'm just gonna go in there and try and cut that edge there. I don't know how well this is gonna work, but we're gonna give it a go. Need a stronger clamp. Let's try it again. It's gonna work. I'm of course worried about busting through the bottom, and I'm gonna go down on an angle a little bit here, because if the bottom of that thing blows out, it's not the end of the world, it's under the dash. Speed low so that we don't melt the plastic. No blowouts yet. There's not going to be a lot of material left under there for the screw to bite into, but we can put some, I don't know, I was going to say epoxy or something, but we need something that you can drill into. I have any ideas on that? What's a good kind of plastic replacement kind of thing that I could fill that in with? I know that fuser bumper stuff that I used before would probably work, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is as I take this and lift it up, it might be too thin, so I need to build it back up with something, but I've got to be able to get a screw in it and tap it out. Anybody have any ideas on that? Let me know. Bite in on that side. it's hitting, this corner here is hitting the tool, or hitting right here, that's what's happening. That's about as far as I have to go. The screw doesn't have to go in there any further than that, but will the... No. I'll keep going. It hasn't broken through the bottom yet, so I'll just keep going, give it a little more room to flex. I'll cut you off. All right. Now, same trick. See if we can get that to lift. Seems to be about right. Let that cool off. All right, so got both of the screws in place. It's a little cockeyed, but it can twist it, and I'm hoping when I connect this up to the dash here that I can pivot it over a little bit. It's not the end of the world, of course, but it'd be nice if it was in better shape than that. It's a little tricky because this seems to be level, but this part is not, so who knows? This thing's probably not square is probably the issue. Yeah, it's not square. That's the problem. This thing itself is crooked. You have to bend this thing. Let me put some heat on it and see if I can get it to stay there. Well, I got that nice and straight. Kind of melted it a little bit right here, but I can hit that with some touch-up paint or something and clean it up. It looks good. It's nice and square now. So, all right, that one's done. All right, other side of the dash now. So this one, the problem is the upper right corner there won't go down far enough. So this whole thing is sitting too high. I can make it work by cocking it this way, but then the vent is actually making contact up here. So I'm gonna shave a little bit off that upper corner right there and see if that takes care of it. All right, so I'm just gonna take a file of this guy here. I can shave that off a little bit. Yeah, file didn't work very well, so switch to some 80 grit. File is working, it just clogs up too fast. So, all right, I'll cut you back when I have this here. It was upside down, but it fits in there pretty nice. These things are really stiff. They don't move all that well, but that's all right. I think they were that way before they went in. So, all right, so we'll call that victory here. So we have all of these guys lined up now. So we're ready to go ahead and put together the vintage air stuff for all the vents and everything, so we can jam this thing in there. All right, next we're trying to figure out how this vintage air glove box goes in here. So as near as I can figure, this is supposed to go around the outside of this. You can see that hole there where it wants to line up, so it's got to come down. It can't fit inside, but this round corner here prevents it from doing so, so I'm going to sand that off and see if we can get it to fit. It's funny, I'm sitting here sanding on this thing with a piece of 80 grit, and I remember, oh yeah, I have this new tool. So that made short work of it. Let me see if I can lift this without it falling apart. So this doesn't fit perfectly. It's the holes are a little bit off, but it's pretty good. So the light that goes here will be one point of anchor. This is for the switch, I think, or yeah, That'll be another point of anchor. Then on the bottom here, they notched out the bottom. You see these two things here. I'm not sure the factory one came that way. So I think what they want you to do is when you run the screws from the bottom here into that piece of metal there, that you can run them all the way through and into the, well, that doesn't work. That goes through the glove box. So I don't know. I got to figure that out, how I can anchor the bottom there so it doesn't go anywhere. Because there's not really anything to anchor it to. Could maybe put something on the sides here. I'm not quite sure. So we'll have to see about that. So I'm just kind of playing with this stuff, laying it all around, see where it goes. Maybe the door, these guys, those aren't far enough to do any damage. So I'm not sure how you're supposed to anchor this on the bottom. I know usually you would have the strap that goes around here, but this is a different size than the factory one, so I might have to fabricate a new strap to go around there. We'll see. All right, so I moved on to putting together the glove box, all the clips and everything for this, and came across this guy. What the heck am I going to use to tighten that with? And took a pair of wire strippers and just stick them in there, and it worked perfectly. I don't really know how any of this stuff goes together, like I said, because I didn't take it apart. It wasn't on the car, so that goes like that, and then this tumbler's got to go back in there somehow. Not quite sure how that works, so we'll figure it out. All right, it's getting hot out here, so I'm gonna start wrapping things up. I got all these little brackets and things. These are going to be silver, these are going to be black. So I'm just going to paint these up here and call it a day, I think. All right, got one coat on there. This is what I used for the silver. I forget what color this is. I'm surprised it doesn't say on there anywhere. But it's not a chrome type silver, it's just silver. And a little tease for you for upcoming here. I got a 2013 Camaro center console. It's going to require some modifications to fit in the car, but I think it's going to work. Looks pretty nice. What did this cost me? This was $175, I think, on eBay. And this thing was like $110, which is pretty ridiculous, but it is what it is. They're a little tricky because most of the cars have the gauge cluster right there, which I didn't want because I'm going to have to cut all that stuff away. Because it's got to fit where that ECU is right there, so that's not going to work. So some assembly required, but I think it's going to work. And here's the 1977 Camaro actual instrument cluster. This is the one that goes to the other years. And if you can see here, the wiper switch opening is not the same. And I managed to get a couple of, where are they? Delay wiper switches, which is cool. So this guy goes in there. So this is another project coming up. And then for this here and that thing here, I got some 3M vinyl stuff that I'm going to experiment with. I think I like the brushed titanium here. I'm not sure. Brushed aluminum, brushed titanium, something I think will look nice on there. So this is pretty cool. I like it. But somewhere in this pile of vinyl here, there should be something that's going to look good there that I can wrap that stuff with and have it look good. All right, that's going to do it for today. I'll just finish painting that stuff and then I'll call it a day. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take it easy.